A very good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us for the UBC News tonight. This first day of February 2026. My name is Wadulo Arnold Wadulo, and we have Dorothy Namuyomba on sign language. And without further ado, let's take a look at tonight's top stories and then get straight into the bulletin. In tonight's top stories, the Director for Communication and Publicity, Emmanuel Dombo, tasks elected Bugisu NRM MPs to take up eradication of poverty. The recount of Masaka County Woman MP enters third day with Justin Namere in the lead. Government secures $6.4 million to upgrade and install new weather stations. And in sports, Jacob Kiplimo's management team, Rosa Associate, promises better talent search. Once again, thank you for joining us. We'll now give you the news in detail. Officials from the NRM Secretariat, led by the Director for Communication and Publicity, Emmanuel Dombo, have tasked the newly elected party members of parliament in Bugisu to prioritize the eradication of poverty. Now, this was during the celebration by Emmanuel Dombo for President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the highlight or the head of the campaign mobilization task force in Bugisu during the elections. These are the details.
Leaders of the National Resistance Movement from the Bugisu sub-region convened at the residence of the Director of Communications and Publicity, Emmanuel Dombo, in Butaleja district to celebrate the electoral victory achieved by President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
And we agreed that when we finish the race, the team leader is going to host us.
Among the NRM leaders present were the newly elected members of parliament, local council 5 chairpersons, NRM district leaders, coordinators, resident district commissioners, and security personnel. Dombo tasked them to prioritize alleviating poverty among their constituents rather than engaging in political conflicts.
Because I do good milk, I've received 4 orders from Mbari, people who do the yogurt, and each one wants 100 liters. Those are 400 liters. I don't have it. So, all of us can be in this together, and we transform our communities, and we transform ourselves. Let us think together. Let us not compete to destroy. Let us compete to build one another. When we do that,
Dombo and the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tango Doi, further encouraged both the winners and the losers to maintain mutual respect and focus on service delivery.
Some chairperson says C5 have lost, but they are going to be in office for about 3 months before. We need a guided and managed transition. Leaders in your respective areas, take up this. Help people to talk to one another. People are insulting one another as if they don't need one another.
The moment you step in parliament, that's the first day you know you are going to be defeated or to be kicked out of parliament. If you don't go back to the people who voted you. Go back to those people, give them government, just advise them on what the president says. Like Brigadier General just said. Keep with them.
His sentiments were also echoed by all the leaders in attendance at the event, including the chief guest, NRM Director of Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, and Brigadier General Kefa Nangeso.
I also started a poultry farm, a simple one, humble. But I used to say, how will I do this? Will I get customers? Now the eggs I provide cannot meet the demand. I have customers who tell me, Honorable, we want 2,000 trays a week, and I cannot meet that demand. Meaning, if we guide our people, like President Museveni has always done throughout the rallies, President Museveni has been teaching the people of Uganda. I want to appeal to us leaders. Let us be the light of the people that we are going to lead. Let us be good examples. I would love to see a member of parliament using his home as a demonstration center for his constituency.
As leaders, we need to lead others or our subjects out of poverty. We shouldn't just lead them to shout, since Waluswaka has left, I'll say Waluswaka, oh yeah.
Ms. Seninde also advised leaders against the misappropriation of government funds intended for the welfare of the populace.
To appeal to my fellow leaders, and I say this with passion, anything small that is sent from the center and it is meant for the people, I appeal to you, ladies and gentlemen, leaders. Let us always try to be honest. You lose nothing when you are honest and sincere. Be accountable. There are times we appeal to people, even those in offices. You eat the job instead of eating from the job.
Philip Aguta and Daniel Ugemwa for UBC News in Butaleja.
And in more UBC News tonight, the Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara, has expressed gratitude to the Christians of Miracle Center Cathedral for voting President Museveni in the just concluded general elections. He urged all members of the opposition across the country to accept defeat where it occurred and work with the electoral leaders for continued development of the country. Pastor Kayanja Robert called for peace and unity among the Ugandans. Let's take a look.
The Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara, has called for peace and unity as the country settles down after elections. He was attending a service at Miracle Center Cathedral, where he showed gratitude to the Christians for voting President Museveni.
Number one, for loving Museveni.
He urged the members of the opposition to put political differences aside and work towards developing the country, and also urged NUP leader Robert Chaguranyi through Balimwezo to come out of hiding.
I shall apologize and ask the men of God to pray for us for forgiveness. All Ugandans should work together. Now, as your young brother, I'm seeking your hand. Look for Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. Ask the Honorable Kumayi to come out. I'm willing to assist you to make him meet the CDF, to make him meet the President, and he makes peace over with them, other than seeking war, which will disorganize and destabilize our nation.
Pastor Kayanja Robert called for peace and unity among Ugandans. He also urged the security forces to avoid activities that tarnish the image of the forces.
Uganda has probably the best. But there are few who thinks they can take things in their hands. Please. Uganda has come from very far, and we still have a long way to go.
The elected Lord Mayor of Kampala, Engineer Ronald Nsubuga Balimwezo, showed gratitude to Christians for supporting him.
Just going to oppose, because literally I am here for service delivery. I am a victim of a bad road. And as such, I want to make sure that we have a vibrant, clean city. And that's what the pastor told me, that we need a better city, a well-organized city. And you have seen that he has pledged to connect me to very organized cities so that we can have a twinning relationship to better our city. So I'm not going to fight because it's not going to be war. I am a person, a team player, and as such, I'm going to make sure that we build a team. We must learn to work together.
Jen Nyiramcha, Mike Wakabulindi for UBC News.
The Ministry of Education and Sports launched the competence-based curriculum in 2020 despite the COVID-19 pandemic, but 5 years later, many schools cherish the results of the competence-based curriculum on the learners' performances. UBC TV visited All Saints Junior School, Namataba, where the candidates of the 2025 primary leaving examinations have a story to tell about the benefits of the new curriculum.
Competence-based curriculum in primary education marked a shift from traditional content approaches to a more skills-oriented framework to equip learners with practical skills, critical thinking and problem-solving abilities.
For the competence-based curriculum, what we do in order for our teachers to understand, first we train them. For example, at the beginning of the year, we take them through what we call effective curriculum interpretation. And they are able to interpret the curriculum, to understand the competences, to understand the content which is required, to understand the methods, as well as the competence-based assessment.
Because when you are taken through the interpretation of the curriculum, you are able to break into various contents so that children are taught in various methods so that they can achieve all competences.
All Saints Junior School, Namataba in Mukono, May, has celebrated a standout in PLOE performance with 76 candidates of the 82 learners who sat for the 2025 PLOE passing in Division 1. The head teacher, All Saints Junior School, Namataba Banya Francis, told UBC that the school has invested in the teaching of a competence-based curriculum.
The best method is being practical. So you'll find out that in science we have very many practicals that are done, as well as in mathematics. So I strongly believe that has given us a competitive advantage as far as those two subjects are concerned. I'm not saying that English and SST are not using practical methods.
Kakuru Dismas, a member of the teaching fraternity at All Saints Junior School, appreciates hard work in skilling learners.
I'm greatly honored with this year's performance, and I really appreciate our teachers, our parents for this wonderful work they have done towards the success of our candidates 2025. We have managed to get 93%.
The parents and pupils say the impact of the competence-based curriculum requires participation of all stakeholders.
Our just a teacher contribution is more, sir, in All Saints Junior School, because that my child since morning to night up to night they only teach it well. It's why she got 5 aggregates.
I obtained an aggregate of 5 in my primary leaving examinations, which reflects my hard work and commitment to my studies.
So happy, so happy. My son has managed to make 4 aggregates. I'm really indeed so happy. And I thank God for his performance. I thank the teachers for their commitment. I thank them for their resilience.
Aviona Francisco, UBC News.
The Commissioner for Teacher Education, Development and Training at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Dr. Arnold Wadulo, has urged teachers to focus on knowledge sharing so that the book writing becomes a source of sustainable income. He encouraged teachers to document their classroom experiences and also turn them into textbooks and reference materials for better learning outcomes. Let's take a look.
As the opening of first term draws closer, teachers are being encouraged to prioritize knowledge sharing by documenting unique classroom experiences and research. Education officials note that such efforts support effective teaching under the new curriculum, while also opening opportunities for professional growth.
Wherever there is a counterfeit, somebody who owns the genuine product loses income.
The Commissioner for Teacher Education Development and Training was represented by Florence Chomhendo, a senior education officer at the Ministry of Education and Sports, during the closing ceremony of a 6-day capacity building workshop on school book authorship and development held at Bishop Wills Koa Primary Teachers College in Iganga this weekend.
As Ministry of Education, we are so grateful, and we know that this training has added value to the majority of the team here.
Chomhendo emphasized that teacher-authored books help align learning materials with the new curriculum, promote local content, and improve learner understanding, particularly in schools with limited resources.
I believe that the skill given to participants here, they will be able to use it and develop materials that will support our learners in all schools, since we are now going to CBC at all levels.
Training was organized by Uganda Textbook, Academic and Non-Fiction Authors Association, UTANA, in partnership with local and international organizations, with a focus on strengthening writing, improving publishing standards, and encouraging collaboration between teachers and publishers. Uganda Textbook Academic and Non-Fiction Authors Association chairperson and senior lecturer at Makerere University, Professor Elsa Magara, said the initiative aims to build authorship capacity among educators and expand access to quality, affordable textbooks through collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports.
We expect that anybody who is going to write, he knows which area is going to fill, which gap is going to fill. We had facilitators from NCBC, from Instruction Material Unit, and Moses himself that gave them what needs to be for.
The workshop attracted teachers, authors, editors, and publishers from across the country, as well as international partners, including the Norwegian Authors Association, represented by Jørgen Lorenzen, the International Secretary of NFFO, through collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports.
And I'm grateful to the UTANA. It has really inspired me. At least I know the do's and don'ts, and I'm going to follow the alignments to publish my own books.
So the skills I've gained, when I go back, it will enable me to become a good author in life.
Learning process of the children, of the students, taking the Padala language as a subject, where they will not only learn the Padala, but also learn the culture of the Padala.
Benon Mukwaya, Vincent Wamundo, UBC News.
And in more UBC News tonight, Vivo Energy Uganda, the company that distributes and markets Shell-branded fuels and lubricants in Uganda, has launched its back-to-school promotion dubbed Fuel Their Future. This is a nationwide campaign to support parents and guardians during the school season, while rewarding customers for choosing Shell fuels and shopping at Shell Select. Through this promotion, customers stand a chance to win school fees worth up to 2 million shillings, besides a range of exciting instant weekly rewards.
Promotion does exactly that by connecting everyday customers' choices to something that truly matters, and that is education. I think if you recall, in some of our promotions, we've talked about how long Shell has been here in Uganda. We're talking about over 50 years plus, yeah? And our customer base evolves, but this is something that is passed on from generation to generation. And when we are looking at how best do we promote and do we partner with our valued clients, we don't just look at what we have at the moment, we look into the future and beyond. So as we have our current motorists, our current customers, we look beyond them and say, who is the future Shell customer that we want to partner with?
As Vivo Energy, we may all remember that we sit on three major pillars as we drive our sustainability agenda, and the three major pillars are: one, planet; two, people advancing that through two other pillars, sub-pillars, that is through education and through health; and then partnerships as well. So this particular promotion of today, we are celebrating the second and third pillar, that is partnerships and people through education.
The recount for the Masaka City Woman MP seat kicked off on Wednesday, sparking tension and drama in Masaka City. The process began with the presiding magistrate of Masaka Grade 1 Court, Herbert Asimwe, overseeing the proceedings this week, and of course it's still happening. So let's take a look at these updates.
Babala buli omu awulira buli ayina kye yeemulugunya okyogererawo era ne bakiwaako ensala. Nze nno ndi musanyufu kubanga bingi ebyali byanzibibwa obululu bwange wenfuna 187 ng'olaba mu ttale baali bateekawo 2 nenfuna obululu 253 ne bateekawo 53 naye ate era ndi mwennyamivu kuba abantu ababba akalulu kange tebaakoma okwo bwe baategeera nti nina bikawunti kuba nawandiikira returning office eyaliwo ebiseera ebyo gavumenti gwe yagombyemu obwalo olw'obubbi nadduli namuwandiikira ne mugamba nti ngenda genda mu kooti okufuna bikawunti kyannaku nnyo nti box ezimu ku 11 ze nawangula ennyo n'agaana okuziba zaalo kye baakola obululu bonna mu box baazireese ensiiringe naye ng'obululu tebuliimu ezimu ng'obululu bwange baabulekamu ne bajjamu obwabalala okusobola okuzifuula irregular era omulamuzi ezo tazibaze.
Masaka City has 314 polling stations, but the magistrate ordered 313 to be recounted after one box was found tampered with. However, the recount quickly uncovered irregularities.
Verifying boxes, seals, store, ne verifying seals, boxes, bisatu, 13 zonna nga ziri intact. Ne tusanga box emu nga teyina koki kasiira.
Some boxes contained extra votes, others none at all, and in some cases, the official records didn't match the ballots. Meanwhile, no representatives led by Moses Chibuka dismissed any hope that these irregularities would prevent their candidate from securing victory.
It is unfair. Okugana okubara okuddamu okubara akalulu.
Some boxes contained extra votes, others none at all, and in some cases, the official records didn't match the ballots. Meanwhile, no representatives led by Moses Chibuka dismissed any hope that these irregularities would prevent their candidate from securing victory. Tampered votes would not be counted, while assuring that justice would guide the process. The tension is high, and both sides are watching closely as the recount unfolds. Masaka's political drama is far from over. Despite the chaos, Magistrate Asimwe ruled that the recount must continue, stressing that any tampered box would not be counted, while assuring that justice would guide the process. The tension is high, and both sides are watching closely as the recount unfolds. Masaka's political drama is far from over.
And indeed, UBC TV will be giving you those updates as soon as they come in. In other news, Uganda's weather forecasting is getting a major boost thanks to a $6.4 million grant from the World Meteorological Organization, acronymed as WMO. The fund, secured through the Islamic Development Bank, will upgrade 16 existing weather stations and install new automatic weather stations across the country. Let's take a look.
Uganda has 211 weather stations out of the 500 recommended by global standards, which hinders the country from providing accurate and real-time weather forecasts.
We know that reliable, timely, and sustained observations of the Earth system are fundamental for early warning services. Yet, as we all know, these observations remain unevenly distributed across the country. The limitations in coverage of weather observations continue to constrain our focus for hazardous weather events and plan for sustainable, resilient, socioeconomic transformation.
Ministry of Water and Environment has secured a grant worth $6.4 million to procure new and upgrade existing stations to match global standards.
The SOF project that we have launched today is expected to enhance our weather monitoring capabilities in compliance with the Global Basic Observation Network. This will be achieved through installation of automatic weather stations, establishment and rehabilitation of upper air stations, and capacity building at different levels, among others.
It's really an honor to join you to launch the SOFT project here. It marks an important step in Uganda's commitment to strengthen weather and climate resilience. The peers, the commissioner has made the presentation about the SOFT. All that I can call on is that let's move to quickly implement this, because Netherlands is with us, and Robert has already informed us that they are here for a long haul. They are going to be with Uganda. So we should not disappoint Robert. We should make sure that we implement quickly and efficiently so that he gets excited and he's going to bring more money to Uganda. This is the reason.
Now is the time for action. As Mr. Ishak has mentioned, we need to ensure that our reputation as a ministry of implementing projects successfully is shown in this project. And I count on you all to ensure that this is attained.
The Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Water and Environment, Dr. Alfred Okot Okedi, says the initiative will boost real-time weather forecast.
Today marks an important stride, not only for the project, but for our shared commitment to strengthen the weather and climate services in Uganda. I would like to commend the work done jointly by the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute, the Islamic Development Bank, and our Ministry of Water and Environment, which has enabled us to get the grant for the SOF project, which we have launched today. I also acknowledge and appreciate the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, and the SOFT Secretariat for the leadership in the SOFT initiative.
Weather stations to be upgraded are in the districts of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kitgum, Kotido, Soroti, Masindi, Kamuli, Tororo, Jinja, Kampala, Entebbe, Mbara, Mubende, Kasese, and Kabale.
Every district in Uganda will benefit in terms of capacity building, first of all. We'll build the capacity of our technical staff. You are probably aware that so many years ago we were not talking about artificial intelligence in weather forecasting, machine learning in weather forecasting. But today we are talking about this, and yet we have technical people who are already doing the work.
Well, let's take a short commercial break, but when we return, we'll be hosting the ICT and National Guidance Minister in the studios live. That is Dr. Chris Bariomo-C, and he'll be giving us a general overview of his perspective from the election and also other aspects. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Somchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get more goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Step into elegance, step into confidence, step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda. La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
Seems to me now that the dreams we had before are all dead, nothing more.
The holiday table is set. Steam rises from freshly prepared dishes. Family photos line the walls, but one chair remains empty. An empty chair that wasn't supposed to be empty today. All because someone thought arriving 5 minutes earlier was worth speeding through that last corner. This festive season, thousands of chairs across our country should not remain empty. Chairs that hold our fathers, mothers, children, friends. Is your rush worth leaving an empty chair at someone's table? Drive within speed limits, because every empty chair tells a story of loss that could have been prevented. Speed kills. Drive to arrive alive. Tofia Kukubo. This message is brought to you by Uganda Broadcasting Corporation in partnership with Uganda Professional Drivers Network, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, and Maritime Cargo.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
So, Muchala.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get more goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Seems to me now that the dreams we had before are all dead, nothing more.
The holiday table is set. Steam rises from freshly prepared dishes. Family photos line the walls, but one chair remains empty. An empty chair that wasn't supposed to be empty today. All because someone thought arriving 5 minutes earlier was worth speeding through that last corner. This festive season, thousands of chairs across our country should not remain empty. Chairs that hold our fathers, mothers, children, friends. Is your rush worth leaving an empty chair at someone's table? Drive within speed limits, because every empty chair tells a story of loss that could have been prevented. Speed kills. Drive to arrive alive. Tofia Kukubo. This message is brought to you by Uganda Broadcasting Corporation in partnership with Uganda Professional Drivers Network, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, and Maritime Cargo.
So, Muchala,
Yes, Daddy.
you know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165 *80 hash or use the Momo app.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News tonight, and as I promised, I was going to be having the Honorable Dr. Chris Badiomo C, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, who is also the MP-elect for Kinkizi East County. Yes, and in Kanungu District. Yes, and we're going to be talking all things elections, politics, and his general overview, of course, in his capacity as the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, but also as a politician. So do sit tight. Let's take you on for this ride. So, Doctor, first and foremost, I think the last time we met here, we were speaking on some pertinent issues on Dr. Kizza Besigye, but today it's a different platform. And welcome back from the election, first and foremost.
Thank you very much, and thank you, EBC, for inviting me to share some of these views
and I can tell
with Ugandans.
I can tell from the hoarseness of your voice, you must have been a very, very busy politician.
Yes, I spoke a lot in the campaigns in Kanungu.
Yeah.
And part of my voice is still in Kanungu, but it's on the way, it's way back.
It's okay, and the good thing is the voice is with the people of Kanungu.
Absolutely.
So metaphorically, then that makes sense.
I lost part of the voice, but gained the vote.
Gained the vote.
Yes.
All right.
And
So
I want to thank the people of Chinchiz East for again giving me another chance to represent them in the 12th Parliament. And I joined the 12th Parliament with a lot of enthusiasm, vigor, and energy, stamina to serve the people of Uganda and Chinchiz East in particular.
Okay. So, Doctor, let's speak on the context, on the general context of the election. Of course, this is stemming from your office as the Minister of National Guidance and ICT. What was your general overview of the election, which we are actually still in the election period, which should be running into the early weeks of this month? What has been your general overview of the election?
Yes. You see, NRM, ushered in by President Yoweri Museveni in 1986, promised that power will be returned to Ugandans. In other words, NRM promised that for you to occupy a political position, you must do so through the will of the people. So democracy is one of the key ideological pillars of NRM. And this had a background in the sense that from independence, 1962, October, to 1986, when NRM came, we had frequent change of power, especially at the level of the president. We had close to 10 presidents in 24 years. But in those 24 years, we had elections once in December 1980, which elections were disputed. Those are the elections which led President Yoweri Museveni and his colleagues to go the bush, fight, and change course, and bring back a new Uganda. And democracy was one of the pledges President Museveni made. And indeed, after promulgation of the new constitution, 1995, 1996, going forward, every 5 years, we go to the polls, where we who want political power must subject ourselves to the will of Ugandans, from the level of the president to an LC1 chairperson. So for us, we are happy that that pledge remains, that every 5 years, the NRM government is able to organize elections where Ugandans come and participate and choose leaders that they want. You can see they have maintained President Yoweri Museveni because they believe and trust that he's capable and is taking Uganda forward.
Okay.
Even at various levels, at members of parliament level, at the LC5, local government level, people are able to evaluate. If you have performed for the people, they elect you. If you have issues with the people, they choose and put another leader. You have seen how many leaders have been removed, like members of parliament. The attrition rate, we shall discuss it, in parliament is high. Ugandans have removed members of parliament. In many cases, they remove an NRM MP, replace him or her with an NRM MP. In some cases, they remove an opposition, replace him or her with an opposition. In a number of cases, they remove an opposition candidate, replace him with an NRM. So people are able to, so this is the power that NRM fought for, that let the people be able to choose the leaders that they want to govern them. So the last election, okay, we are still in the election season, but we are done with the presidential and parliamentary. Okay, there are a few parliamentary seats for special interest groups which are still to be completed. The PWDs, I think, part of the youth. But we're also done with the LC5 chairpersons and district councillors. and the municipal councils. Now, Wednesday next week, we are doing the lower local governments, the sub-counties and town councils. And so far, so good. So my assessment is that the exercise has been successful because of the stability and peace prevailing, all corners of the country were able to participate fully in the elections. And it was peaceful, save for a few cases here and there, but by and large, it was a peaceful exercise. And also post-election, there are no big tensions going on. Those who are dissatisfied with the results, some are going to court, like one of the presidential candidates, I think, has petitioned the Supreme Court, and the case is now being heard, or it's about to be heard. And also parliamentary and other levels, those who are not satisfied can always gather evidence and go to court, and the courts are open and are able to dispense justice. Well, there are sections of the political actors, i.e. the opposition, particularly the National Unity Platform, which is the main leading opposition party, who campaigned on the basis of a protest vote with messages which were inciting, but luckily the security forces of the country are able to protect all of us. There is no mayhem, no chaos, but definitely we continue to guide that let's all remain law-abiding, because if you breach the law, then police and security agencies will definitely come in. And we have guided the security agencies that if there is any law breaker, handle him or her in accordance with the law. If you have to carry out an arrest, do a lawful arrest, detain somebody in a gazetted area, process that case through courts of law so that the justice is dispensed, because NRM believes in the rule of law.
Okay.
So far, the situation is okay, and we hope in May, the president and the members of parliament will be sworn in, and the new government will become in office. And what we pledge to Ugandans, we thank Ugandans for voting NRM overwhelmingly, for voting President Yoweri Museveni with over 71%, and I congratulate him and all those who won. And what we pledge is that we are now going to settle down and be able to implement the manifesto upon which Ugandans have put confidence again in the NRM as we drive Uganda into a modern country.
Okay. Yes. So, Doctor, you mentioned this election being largely peaceful, and perhaps there's a school of thought that also thinks perhaps this was because of the high presence of the military at the polling stations and the likes. But also, of course, looking at the voter turnout, in the election of 2021, the registered voters were about 20 million, and I think half of that number managed to cast their vote. In this particular election, 2026, for the presidential and parliamentary elections, our voter register just increased by about 1 million, which made it about 21 million. But then we also see that the voter turnout was still about 54%, 52%. It was 52%. So that could actually mean that if the registered voters increased, but the voter turnout relatively remained the same percentage, that could mean that the voter turnout could even potentially have lowered. Okay? So I just want to understand from your point of view, what do you think is causing low voter turnout? Because if we have about 50%, half of the people that are registered to vote turning up to vote, what could be causing this?
We are going to carry out a comprehensive study to do an assessment and try to appreciate why Ugandans register to vote, and when it comes to voting time, they don't show up.
But I mean, it might even be not just Ugandans in general, but the NRM voter register had what, 18 million?
Yes, and the NRM voters are
Ugandans. But
are Ugandans.
I would have thought that, you know,
I'm going to give possible answers, but I'm saying we are going to carry out a scientific assessment to understand, and this is where we can find out. We do research and use the different methodologies. But I'm now giving you my preliminary thoughts why. One, in my case, there are people who do not live in the places where they vote from. If I get an example of my area, I had many voters from Chinchizi East who kept calling me from Kampala, from Greater Toro, from Ankole, who work outside, and they were saying, we need transport to come and vote for you. Can you organize transport for us? And it was logistically difficult for me to put buses. Some candidates did do it, but it was, so there were those who were disenfranchised because of physically being away from polling stations. But also that speaks to the issue, why wouldn't somebody take voting as a serious intervention for him, even to look for transport to go and vote? I think there is a level of complacency among, I don't want to call it apathy, but there be complacency among the voters. It's like, oh, first of all, many people know NRM is dominant and popular. So they say, even if I don't vote, NRM will win. Even if I don't vote, President Museveni will definitely win. Nobody of these candidates, the 7, nobody can defeat him. So there are people who have that thinking. They support NRM, they support President Yoweri Museveni, they support me, but they say, they will win. I cannot raise 100,000 to board the bus from here to Kanungu, but humans will win. So there are many of those, but they forget that, yes, President Museveni will win, but it would be better for him to win with your vote. It is actually your vote which counts, which makes him win. So that element is there. But also when you look at our politics, since we went multi-party, there has been a tendency of some political actors who promote a belligerent, extremist, and radicalized approach to politics. So there are those who fear that the polling station might become a battleground and there may be violence. If you see the campaign which Noop was championing, of saying, mobilize the vote, cast the vote, protect it, demand for it. The tone and manner of giving that message was insinuating that if we lose, if we are not winning, you must do something at that polling station.
Perhaps,
that is
perhaps, I might not say, to protect the vote, don't you think it could come from historical experiences of accusations of perhaps, citations of vote rigging at the polling stations? So
yes,
perhaps,
well, but who protects the vote at the polling station? Each candidate is expected to have agents. And my experience when I am appointing agents, I look for strong, shrewd, competent, incorruptible agents who will be able to protect and defend my interests as a candidate. That's the duty of a candidate, make sure that you have, because you cannot be physically in all polling stations. So those are the people who protect, not the voters, because the law says you come and vote and you can keep at a polling station at least 20 meters away. So when you are 20 meters away, action is taking place within the polling station. It is the agents who protect. But now the message which was being given out was like luring people to remain around and by extension be violent. That's how I understood it. That's what forced government at some point, the Electoral Commission and others, to say, please, when you vote, go away.
Go home.
Go home. And you can come back at counting time. Because some places can be small, and when you congest there, that can be recipe for confusion there. So that message could have scared some Ugandans and say, I don't want to be there to be beaten. I don't want to be assaulted when I am there. So that could also be a possible reason why people shunned coming to vote. But I think all this speaks to us that we should invest in civic education for Ugandans to know that it is their civic, democratic, and constitutional right to participate in elections, because it is your duty to choose leaders, which leaders you now demand accountability from them to deliver services to you. Because if you don't participate and you don't vote, how will you demand accountability from me? If I don't deliver for you, where will you get the audacity to start saying I am not delivering as a member of parliament? I will say, did you vote for me? Why didn't you vote? So I think in the next 5 and medium term, we need to support the relevant departments of government to do civic education, to build the civic competences of Ugandans, to know that voting is an extremely important exercise. Because in the case, it's voluntary. The way we have done the law, voting is optional. So you cannot charge somebody because he didn't vote. But I think we shall have to address it through this sensitization and education.
So, Doctor,
but we shall do a study as a government to further understand what could be the factors that are causing this apathy or complacency or lack of desire to participate in elections.
Doctor, in your capacity as the Minister of National Guidance, I would request to know who is responsible for the civic education, because I think also one of the one of the statements in the Constitution is that this Constitution should be translated in various languages and distributed to all citizens, you know, in places where they can actually access the Constitution. But this is something that we've not seen. I've not seen any Runyachitara Constitution. I've not seen Lusoga, Lugisu.
Well, these are
whose office is it? Whose office is it?
Shared responsibilities, like translating the Constitution would be the law of the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And civic education, to an extent, is a shared responsibility between the Independent Electoral Commission, the Human Rights Commission, maybe even partly my Department of National Guidance.
How about the non-state actors? More like NGOs?
And of course, the NGOs and civil society, they have a role to play. And the political parties. But from the government side, I think between Electoral Commission, Human Rights Commission, National Guidance Ministry, which I head, those could do a joint activity, then supplemented and in a partnership with the civil society and the other actors. Because, but of course, this is a growing democracy. We don't expect to achieve everything in day one. It is a work in progress, but it's an area where we needed to put focus so that we mobilize Ugandans.
Okay.
And there is a lot of work to be done, like within the national guidance docket. We are also exploring how to mount mindset change programs, especially for the young people, because we see a lot of ideological disorientation among the younger generation, and yet we must impart attributes of patriotism, nationalism, and building this civic competence. So it's work which government has to do, and we must start now.
Okay, Doctor, so let's still talk to the process. Okay, we expected to use BVVK machines.
Yes.
Those are the electronic biometric voter kits.
Yes.
And when it came to the day for voting, these machines failed to work. Of course, there was speculation that the shutdown on the internet was what caused the failure of these machines. But also, there are some people who suggest that the failure of the machines was deliberate to support some candidates. What would you say to this?
Well, the law has been saying that the Electoral Commission may use biometric technology to verify and identify voters. President Yoweri Museveni personally came to cabinet and said we need to make use of biometric technology for voter identification and the verification compulsory in the coming elections. It was actually his idea. He appointed me to chair a subcommittee of cabinet to study the matter, make a report, and recommend it to government, which I did.
This was before the purchase of
Before, I'm giving you now the history.
All right.
And we did the report. We worked with technical people and the other ministers. We produced a report, and our report was recommending that it is possible to use biometric technology to supplement other means of verifying and identifying voters, because previously we were using a manual register to identify. And we raised, Electoral Commission raised the budget, we supported the Electoral Commission, we worked with them to train the operators and people to use, and we, up to the day of polling, were ready. Now, I was among those who got surprised when in the morning I got information that the machines in various parts of the country were failing. I have asked for a report to understand what exactly happened, but the reason is the preliminary information that I have got, and I will speak to the country, maybe through Parliament, over the issue, were partly technical, logistical, and administrative. Because everything had been done, but now, you see, the machines had been configured to do what we call technical authentication. Let me put it in simple language. At the start of the exercise in the morning, the presiding officer and the BVVK operator, BVVK is Biometric Voter Verification Kit operator, were supposed to upload their details in the machine, the system, provided they are voters in that area, electoral area in the district. And that's where the failure came. Many of them now failed to upload for various reasons which they are giving me. In some cases, there were delays by districts to generate lists of those. In some places, they had recruited people from outside the voting areas. You are in Kanungu, you have got somebody from Kabale who cannot be. And it was realized that morning there were logistical delays from Electoral Commission. I am also getting information there was sabotage by some local politicians who didn't want the exercise, by even buying off some of the presiding officers to withdraw, so there was confusion. So Electoral Commission realized in many districts it was failing, and there was wide consultation, and it was agreed that where they have not worked, let the voting take place. But in over 40 districts, the machines worked. And we are now comparing the results where they worked and where they didn't work. And there are few complaints in areas. When I make a report to Parliament, I will give you those details to the public, details of the districts. Like especially in eastern Uganda, Ogweri, Bale, there they worked.
Okay.
They worked. So, those were the technical, logistical, and administrative failures.
Okay, I just want to understand a little bit about how the BVVK machine works, because for it to verify a voter, it must have a database, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So my question is, was the database away from the machine, or it was ingested in every machine?
It was. You see, when the machines were procured, then we had to train the people to use them. And in the machine, we would upload the database for the district. So it would have district-specific data.
Okay.
Data.
Not nationwide?
Not nationwide, no.
Okay.
It's district-specific. And they were expected to work both online and offline. Like those who are saying it's because of the shutdown of internet, that's not true, because they were working offline. So the issue was uploading the details of the presiding officer and the machine operator. That's where the problem came, partly technical, but largely logistical and administrative. So the blame eventually, as one analyzed, could have been the preparedness of the Electoral Commission officials, probably coupled with some elements of sabotage from the officials themselves of the Electoral Commission and some political actors, especially members of parliament. I'm getting all this information. So those who are insinuating that the government, i.e. the president and maybe us, the government, could have feared and suspended the exercise probably to carry out irregularity, that's not true. The president has been very insistent, and I think he must be annoyed, because he said, this is what I have been working for in the last 65 years, to have one voter, one vote, one person, one vote. That's the principle we wanted to get. Because you recall, he complained in the last elections that the NUP, the opposition, stole up 2.7 million votes in and around Kampala. And this was now the chua that he suggested. So it was his idea. So it cannot be the same person who initiated it and who allowed money to be used for the machines that at the end of the day, for him to withdraw. No, that cannot be him. And the assurance we want to give the public that although there was that setback, it did not in any way injure the integrity of the electoral exercise, because the machines were basically trying to supplement efforts of voter verification. What the Electoral Commission now resorted to was what we had been using in the past, that the voters had been given a voter location slip, others, and the national ID, which you would come with, and then it would be scanned. But even if you didn't have any of those, your name being in the register, you would shout your name loudly. The agents and people around would identify that you are the one, and then you vote. So there should be no cause for worry. Luckily, all those challenges were later on sorted, and the subsequent elections for local governments, they are successfully using these machines. And going forward, this is now the panacea, the solution for vote rigging, ballot stuffing, because with the machines, you are assured of a voter getting only one ballot paper and casting only one ballot paper. If you attempt to put in extra ballot papers, then they will not be counted.
Doctor, do you think government can commit to holding people accountable? Because if a strategy such as this that was orchestrated by the president himself failed to work, and there must have been, some issues like you've mentioned in your preliminary findings, do you think that if we fail to actually hold someone accountable and perhaps have suitable punishments for such because this can easily be a recurring issue, and not only just even with the BVVK, in all other aspects of government service delivery. What do you think can be done to hold public servants accountable for their jobs?
There are lots of inefficiencies within the public service. In this particular case, we have asked for a report. And if we satisfy ourselves that there was foul play or negligence by any civil servant, or somebody failed to do his or her work, then that person should be punished. Because this was a costly intervention where we spent money. And an election is a sensitive exercise. So for somebody to fail to do his or her work and then cause this kind of setback, definitely if we find somebody culpable, heads will roll.
Okay.
But let me hope that there was no foul play. Maybe they were innocent.
Regardless of if they were innocent, I think there needs to be accountability.
We are investigating.
All right, Doctor, let's turn this conversation.
But the use of BVVK machines going forward will be unstoppable.
Do you think the public will be in place? Because then that will be a big job to win the trust of the public again. Don't you think that on top of what happened this particular process, there also needs to be a process of winning back the trust of Ugandans?
See, the process, that's why I'm explaining. And just assure Ugandans that this setback, regrettable as it is, did not in any way disenfranchise Ugandans. Those who turned up to vote were still able to cast their ballot.
Okay.
So there were from the side of government, we were taken aback that our officers were not well prepared for the job that morning, because the arrangements were done towards, we had done the training. I remember we came to cabinet, demonstrated how the machine works, and I remember when we demonstrated, it was taking 36 seconds to clear a voter. The Electoral Commission did demonstrations to members of parliament who were set to go.
We also had actually a demonstration here, live on UBC TV studios.
Absolutely.
Well,
So,
Doctor,
but the-
turning to Parliament, what do you think would actually explain the high attrition rate and transformed composition of the 11th Parliament following the 2026 presidential and parliamentary elections? Because when you look at 456 seats being competed for, and I think about 23 seats were lost by the NUP, and 71% was taken by NRM. What do you think the high attrition, what do you think caused this high attrition rate?
Well, the high attrition rate in Parliament is consistent with the previous observations.
Yeah.
Every end of term, we lose 70 to 80% of members of Parliament. And I can say many things.
Yes, please, you have the time.
One, it means Ugandans out there are empowered to make decisions and determine whom they want to represent them.
The voting Ugandans.
The voting Ugandans,
Yeah.
yes. They are able to change a member of parliament. So those who are saying there is no democracy, I think that's a comment on that. Number two, it also shows NRM remains the dominant party in Uganda that has a national character, because you get NRM MPs from all the zones and sub-regions of the country. So NRM has maintained its solid majority in parliament. But probably what I can say, people have made parliamentary seats and political seats a do or die in Uganda. There is a mindset, an attitude, or a thinking that if you want to get money, free money at that, you join the parliament, which is not the case. Which is not the case. And therefore, competition for parliament has become cutthroat competition, and actually in some cases, throats are cut to get to parliament. But I think the biggest comment I can make is that there is an issue with respect to the voting population understanding what the role of a member of parliament is. Because a member of parliament has constitutional responsibilities which are clear. That is representation, legislation, oversight, budget appropriation. These are the constitutional roles, what we were expected to do in the parliament. But the voter out there, what he or she expects me to do, most often deviates from what I do in the parliament. They want me to bury the dead. They want me to construct schools with my money. They want me to pay school fees for their children. They want me to support the widows. They want me to grade the roads. They want me to care for the sick, carry them to Marago and meet their medical expenses. So the burden. So members of parliament are burdened by extra constitutional responsibilities. And therefore, when the voters are evaluating us, they don't evaluate us on the basis of what we are supposed to do. Very often, they take a responsibility which ordinarily is for the local government and heap it on a member of parliament. And this forces us as members of parliament to start doing things which ordinarily are not ours. We start subsidizing government. You have seen members of parliament buying ambulances. I grade roads in Chinchis East. Roads, even when we pass money
to the local government.
I was doing an assessment in my constituency. This term, I have opened and upgraded more roads than the district.
And where does
As
that
an
leave?
example.
Where does that leave the district?
That's the issue. So we have to redefine the
How
role.
do you as legislators then interact with the district? Because that could also be exposing some gaps on how you interact.
Yes, we are ex-official members of the district councils, and we sit. We sit in the councils, give guidance, but I think the way local governments function also, there are challenges in the local governments. A lot of corruption, inefficiencies, and even when local governments implement something, they will not explain it in a manner that the member of parliament has made a contribution. They will say, for us as council, me as LC5 chairperson, I have worked on this road. What has the MP done? So you have to do a lot of explanation that your work is to pass the budget in the parliament, but once the budget is passed, they don't give you the money to carry. You send the money to the district, and then the district is supposed to do the implementation. So because the councillors and the local governments are on the ground, you will find maybe they have bigger impact in explaining than you, especially if the relationship between you, the MP, and the local governments is like in my case, the chairman LC5 chose to stand against me. So for the last 5 years, he was just blackmailing, demeaning me, verifying me, presenting me as a devil before the people of Chinchills East. So whatever the local government had implemented, I could not get any benefit out of it.
Okay.
So it forces me now to start grading roads, to start doing protected springs, using my personal resources.
But isn't that illegal? I was told that not even a citizen should be able to even build a road. If so isn't that illegal? Aren't you breaking the law?
It's not. But if you are going to be relevant to the voters, because the flowery debates I do in the parliament do not matter to the majority of the voters. I want to think I am one of the good MPs. Even before I became a minister, I moved the private members' motions, which turned into laws, which many MPs don't have capacity to do. But that you can't tell the ordinary voter. They will say, you wrote a law on female genital mutilation, do I eat it? As a Mchiga from Kanungu. So, as an MP, you have to do an extra mile to be relevant to the people. And that is what is burdening the members of parliament. They do their work, they come and do their legislative work, they represent, but the expectations of the people are different. So even these who have been voted into the transforming, come 2031, they will be removed because the expectations will be unmet. So again, we need to invest in the civic education for people to know when you vote for a member of parliament, what do we expect the MP to do? But I think also we are going to engage the president and see whether we should have, we reintroduce the Constituency Development Fund.
Constituency Development Fund.
Yes.
Okay.
Because in some countries like Kenya, even South Sudan, others, it works. How? Because development funds and funds for implementing programs are channeled through either ministries and agencies and local governments. Then you, a member of parliament, you are left hanging. Now the people expect you to be part of the implementation to address their concerns. Now in some countries, what they do, they say Kanungu now gets a budget of 60 billion. So why can't 2 billion be delivered through Constituency Development Fund? We put a fund, it can still be channeled through the cow. I don't have to receive the money. We put a committee at the district level, chaired by the MP, maybe co-chaired by the woman MP. If there are issues, and we allow which kind of activities can the MP and his committee clear for implementation. Say if a bridge has gotten broken, can't you use part of this money as emergency repair for the bridge? If a school has been blown away by wind, because now they burden us you go to OPM, disaster preparedness office, they toss you around, so you end up putting in your pocket to buy iron sheets. Up to now, there are schools which are demanding iron sheets from me to roof for them because they can't get the money from government.
Don't
so
you
we're
think
saying
that will cause you?
Yeah?
No, okay.
So part of that money can be controlled through this committee of constituency development and be able to fix so that an MP now is seen as relevant. When I was the parliamentary commissioner, we had discussed with the president this issue, and in principle he had agreed. But I think the subsequent commission is needed for. You remember we used to have that constituency development fund, but it was little. It was 10 million shillings, but it was also being administered wrongly by being put on the account of the MP. You would use it and then account for it, but then it turned into a tool of harassing members of parliament now. The IGG started arresting members. People now started using it to fight battles. And as a commission, we suspended it. We said, first of all, it is little. It is embarrassing members of parliament. It can't cause any development. We suspended it. I said, let's study it and reintroduce it in a manner that is more functional.
Constituency Development Fund.
Yeah, it will be one solution which we are going to, we shall engage the president again and the government to see whether members of parliament can be helped. But why the attrition rate is that there is variance between what are the expected constitutional obligations and responsibilities of an MOP and what the voters out there expect. That is why many members of parliament, even when we are fairly well paid, like the public was also saying, but many members of parliament are indebted. Indebted why? Because whatever they earn in the parliament, they invest it in the constituency. And you find members of parliament even fail to raise fuel to go because you are paying fees for your constituents, you are buying drugs. Every day I'm driving patients to Morago to what. All out of kindness. But now people now start thinking that is your duty. Just the other day somebody rang me, said I've been admitted in Mbarara, they want to do a biopsy, they want 600,000. I had to send the 600,000. So where do you think I get it from?
I should give you calls one of these days.
So that's the challenge. So the attrition rate of members of parliament has more to do with what voters expect from an MOP and what exactly the MOP is supposed to do. So there is some work supposed to be done. And the Minister for National Guidance, I undertake to participate actively in educating the public over such matters.
But someone also would argue that the lack of civic education might also benefit some incumbents, or the lack of the civic education. What do you have to say about that?
Well, there are those who may benefit from it, but I think it is important that we educate the public for them to know.
Okay, so let's just talk about the political setup. Uganda is operating under a multi-party system, and it is evident that there is political infighting in nearly all parties. The NRM, the NUP, FDC, and the PPF / Jama. So during the 2026 election, what does this signal for the multi-party politics in Uganda?
First of all, what we have seen in these elections, the opposition has been decimated. And many of my colleagues who were like firebrand members of parliament representing the opposition have lost. But maybe also at times they are just overrated for nothing. Because there are those noisy members of parliament. But making a lot of noise in the parliament does not necessarily make you an effective
legislator.
Like we see many of these opposition MPs, they make noise in parliament, on TV, on radios, but on the ground, they don't deliver for the people. I see colleagues who come in parliament.
What needs to be delivered on ground?
On ground, coordinating with the local government and ensuring that the resources which we pass and are sent to local governments are put to the right use. Like we were saying, we are members of the councils. Some of us keep a close eye on the council. If we have sent money to build the classrooms, to repair health facilities, to upgrade the health center to a health center, I have to be there to make sure that the work is done. So many of these MPs, these are what you call firebrand, the opposition MPs, they just make a noise in the parliament, flowery speeches, procedure, point of order, harassing us on the floor. They go on TV, they go to CBS radio, making noise. But on the ground, they are not on the ground to attend to the challenges of the people. So people have discovered them. Said, you guys, you just on TV, you earn your allowances and what, but you are not helping us. So if you are irrelevant to the welfare and interest of the people you vote, they will discover you. So many of them have been discovered, and that's why they have been removed. Now the infighting in the parties. You see, we are a young democracy. Our multi-party dispensation is still young, and we are still growing and learning. And of course, all parties should have some introspection and see how to strengthen internal cohesion, address issues of internal democracy, build the parties into strong institutions so that they can compete for political power. And that's why sometimes some of us are even critical. We are critical within our own parties. We make various casting criticism to our parties for them to internally reform so that they are strong, because a political party is an institution which should be governed professionally. And now look at the opposition parties. Why is the opposition crumbling? The opposition, first of all, a political party should be built on the basis of an ideology. Which ideology you say to the country that for us we stand for this. If you elect us, this is how we shall run Uganda and move it this way. But look at the opposition, with due respect. Many of these opposition parties, they were formed through a reactionary process, and their agenda is to spew a message of hatred against either NRM or President Yoweri Museveni as a person. Look at how FDC came, a reactionary group.
But wouldn't one argue that the NRM, National Resistance, what were they resisting? Because I would still count that as a reaction. History. Wasn't that a reaction?
Yes, it was. It was a group of young people led by President Museveni who disagreed with the status quo post-independence.
Isn't that the same thing?
Okay, just hold on. And they put resistance, translated it into fighting, luckily captured the government, reorganized and transformed now into a political party, now NRM. So that word resistance has a history, But the NRM has a clear ideological path. If you ask me, what does NRM stand for? I would summarize NRM. It stands for patriotism. It stands for Pan-Africanism. It stands for socio-economic transformation. It stands for democracy. Those are the key ideological pillars that anchor what NRM is. And whatever NRM does is an answer to those ideological principles. Look at a party like FDC. It is formed because Dr. Kizza Besigye has disagreed with the president. He forms the reform agenda, then he stands for president, then it changes into FDC. Look at its stance. Its stance is the sloganeering, agende, tajakulaira, mese, tsunami, what. He does not articulate to say FDC stands for this kind of ideological grounding. If we were in power, this is how we would run the country. It doesn't come out. Now, they fail to manage the party internally. When moderate voices like those of Mugisha Muntu come, say, let's organize the country, let's have structures. They say, you are more. This is a Musevenist. They throw him out. He forms the party. Now they succeed.
Would you align with Mr. Mugisha Munti's party, ANT, because, I mean, you're holding him exceptional.
No, I'm
besides
giving
the
an
others.
example what has happened.
Yeah.
He looks sober. And maybe means well, but probably with his own confusion. Now you see Nanda number 5 and Amuria take over. These people say, President Museveni has given them money. Let's now form another party, PFF, which is dead on arrival. All those in Western Uganda who stood on the ticket of PFF collapsed on their own weight. Kabale Municipality MP, Kamara, was there for this time, the PFF, who he went. Nabos, the Kunjiri Babo, collapsed. Mwejuche in the Weju collapsed. So the party has, I think, raised these two MPs. It is just dead on arrival. Look at the NUP. NUP as a new party fails to learn from FDC, its predicament. It also comes with a violent approach to politics. And what happens now in the last 5 years, instead of concentrating on building the structures and endearing itself to Ugandans, spreading it to areas beyond Uganda and Busoga, it is just in internal squabbles, fighting with the Honorable Mpuga, fighting its own senior members, and you can see the numbers have drastically reduced. Even the Chaguranyi now himself scored much lower than last time, so they are on a downward trend. And for them, they will come to blame President Yoweri Museveni. They want to blame NRM, when actually the problem is internal. The other day I described the opposition political parties that they are suffering from what we call autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is a disease where the body starts eating itself from within. Just intrinsic reactions now within the body, and then the body eats itself. So now the problem of the opposition parties is that, first of all, they are ideologically below the belt. Ideologically, they punch below their weight. So they have no ideological direction to give Ugandans. Now, there is no party that can clearly say we have an ideological position that is superior to that of NRM. Rather, they just vent venom messages of hatred, which Ugandans have rejected. And then it doesn't help that they have failed to internally build systems that will turn them into strong institutions.
Okay.
So that's the problem.
Well,
so now, like
yeah.
Parliament,
yeah.
I don't see the opposition in the Parliament. We shall just have them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yet we are yet to see the new faces that have come.
Yes.
But the opposition really, they will come, earn their allowances, walk out. We expect they'll be having frequent walkouts because they can't even out to debate us. Some of us are solid.
Yes, and tried and tested also.
Tried and tested. So they cannot be out to debate us.
Yeah.
So they will resort to shouting matches, walking out, maybe trying to fight like they have done in the past. But I don't think they will have any significant impact in that house.
All right.
But I think it also remains our responsibility as government to build a democratic space for Ugandans, and we mean well as NRM. That is why we pass money to support political parties that have representation in the parliament, so that they build the capacity into viable political structures that they can fairly compete for political power. But it's not our duty to make them stronger than NRM. We shall focus on building NRM, and we ask Ugandans to continue trusting NRM. What we pledge is that we shall do our best to transform Uganda and move it into a modern, prosperous society.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Honorable Chris Badiomo C, and we do congratulate you upon your victory.
Thank you.
Yes, and the 12th Parliament is set to also swear in, I think that will be after the presidential.
Yes, presidential first, then the parliamentary.
Yes, we really also do look forward to the swearing in of the president in May.
In May, yes.
Yes, otherwise that brings us to the end of our exclusive interview. Thank you very much for staying tuned. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark. We'll be having another bulletin at 10 p.m. Otherwise, that brings us to the end, and see you then.
Thank you very much. So good night.
Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Buza Commissioner.
Welcome to Buza Commissioner. Our question today is coming from John, my namesake, and he says, I'm working with a certain private company. It's now 4 years, and these people are deducting my monthly pay as you earn. Unfortunately, I do not have a TIN, and whenever I try to ask about the deducted money, HR scares me that if I continue following up the payment, I may lose my job. My workmates reported to URA, but unfortunately, it's now 2 years with no response. My question is, where else can I report, since it is my duty to pay taxes, and I'm suspecting these people are enjoying my money? Now, thank you, namesake, and I hope this is a pseudonym, because it will be easy for someone to try and trace who you are. But first of all, our apologies that you reported this matter to our institution and no action has been taken. It's regrettable. I don't know who you reported to and how you reported, but let me thank you for being a patriotic citizen that has pursued this matter without giving up. And today, I will give you a hint on how you can report this matter, and it is, one, not attached to you, but number two, it's not traced back to you, but number two, action is taken promptly. We have two main channels for reporting such behavior. Without a doubt, if you have no TIN and someone says they are deducting your pay as you earn, they are cheating you, because we receive pay as you earn against specific TINs by the contributors. Yes, the employer collects and submits this money, but even when he submits the pay as you earn, URA, since the last 2 years, we've been insistent on asking for a schedule of the TINs, the individual TINs that are contributing towards this payment. So we don't just accept a lump sum payment without accompanying TINs for every individual employee. So the fact that you have no TIN, highly likely your money is not reaching government. And this is what we are going to do. So for starters, first get a TIN. For you to get a TIN, you don't need the permission of your employer. It is your right as a citizen to have your tax identification number. And we do issue TINs instantly. Individual TINs, we issue them instantly online. So this is what you'll do, John, to get a TIN. Visit our website, www.ura.go.ug, and I want you to look at this website as I navigate to help you see where to go. So if you are now on your website, the URA website on your computer or your phone or tablet, straight away click the Get a TIN tab at the bottom. Okay? So to get a TIN, you are there, then you want an individual TIN, so you can get it instantly. So click on Instant TIN Application. Instant TIN Application. Once you are there, then apply for TIN at the bottom. Okay? Now, you'll be asked the type of TIN you want, and it is the individual, because you are getting your personal tax identification number. Okay? Now, once you are there, then apply for the instant TIN. Once you're there and you click the category, you can see those fields. You are being asked some information. Feed in your national ID number. So you must only get this TIN or go to apply for this TIN when you have national ID nearby. You should have your national ID, the one issued by NIRA. Please enter what we call the NIN. Enter the NIN there. Once you've entered the NIN, yes, the rest of the fields will be auto-populated from the NIRA database. This may take a bit of time. As you can see, the system is trying to access the NIRA database. Now, in the interest of time, once you've finished entering your personal details and that process has verified that indeed your ID and your NIN are valid, they are authentic, then you'll fill any other information. For example, if you are registering to pay as you earn, you click employment as the source of income. And there you will enter the employment details, the TIN and the name of the company that employs you, and so on and so forth. So by the time you get to the bottom of this form, which we will go through now in the interest of time, you will get a tab to say submit your application. And once you've submitted your application, instantly you will get your TIN. So John, first get a TIN. That is step number 1. Step number 2, report in confidence and sure to get action. This employee of yours who has been cutting your money for the last 4 years and not remitting it. Come back to our portal. There is that whistleblower tab, that one, at the bottom of the page. And the first page is asking you to agree to the terms. Those terms, you can read them. Once you agree with them, click that acceptance and go to the next page. Now, as you can see on this page, you'll be asked for some information. The first part of information is details about you. You can actually use pseudonyms again, because we are not interested in knowing who you are and we don't want this to be traced back to you. However, what should not be incorrect or imagined is the contact detail. You need a valid number, telephone number, or valid email for us to be able to trace you when it is time to get a reward. Now, this route I'm telling you does not only solve the issue of letting us know which taxpayer has been chopping your money and not submitting it to government. You will also be entitled to a reward for being a citizen that has given critical information that has led to tax recovery. So the reward is enshrined in the law for whistleblowing. Once you give us such useful information and we are able to collect the taxes, we shall also pay you a reward of 5% of the taxes collected, or 100 million, whichever is less. So if you help us recover billions, you'll get up to 100 million. If you help us recover some millions, you will take 5% of those millions. So, John, this sure way will keep your identity anonymous. No one will trace this back to you. And URA, in our course of duty, we will visit the taxpayer, get the information we want, carry out an audit, and recover the taxes that he has been receiving from the employees but not submitting to government. The other channel which you can use is a telephone contact dedicated to whistleblowing. You do not call this number unless you have such information that is for whistleblowing in nature. This telephone line is manned by a few people, trustworthy people, and they will ensure that whatever information you give is acted on. Same with this whistleblowing line, run by a few people, supervised by key leaders to make sure that whatever information is reported is acted on. And now, if you want to use the toll-free line for whistleblowing, please write it down. This number is 0800257700. I repeat this, 0800257700. So whichever you find easier, John, whether it is using this toll-free line, which will receive your information in confidence and act on it, or you will visit this website and report online anonymously, and we act on this and call you. The only thing that you should put in, which should be true and accurate, is a telephone number or an email address on which we can reach out to you in case we need more information, or in case we want to call you for your reward after we have finished our audit. I want to assure you we will act on this. And again, we regret and apologize for the earlier reporting, which unfortunately we don't know who you gave it to and how we can correct that. But these two lines, the portal and the telephone toll-free, are reliable. And also we are available as leaders in this institution. If you find any challenge, approach us in our office. Come to my office on the 18th floor at URA headquarters in Nakawa, and let me know. We'll be able to address this important matter. Thank you very much, John, and all of you citizens. When you notice people who are dodging taxes or people who are cheating employees, cutting their money and not paying the pay as you earn, or any other form of tax evasion, be the citizen that will make your country develop by reporting such behavior, and I promise you, Uganda Revenue Authority will act on it in a timely manner. We will recover the tax, but in addition, we will reward you for being a good citizen. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Tarehe Sita is celebrated in Uganda to commemorate the start of the National Resistance Army's liberation struggle on 6th February 1981, an attack on Kabamba Barracks, leading to the NRM's rise to power in 1986 and the formation of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. The day symbolizes the foundation of the People's Army, national unity, and the ongoing commitment to peace, security, and socio-economic transformation. On Friday, 6th February 2026, the 45th Tarehe Sita anniversary will be celebrated under the theme Defending the Gains of the Revolution and Honoring the Sacrifices of the Freedom Fighters, a call for national unity, peace, and socio-economic transformation. The celebrations will take place at the National Teachers College grounds in Kabale Municipality. The activities will be relayed live on UBC TV.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
PDM, changing lives.
Mo abatungire sente za parish modo kuna tungereze sente za parish modo nagura mwente ente inaguzire nkajugura miliyoni 1.8 nkaba ntungire miliyoni 1 eza parish modo 1.8 nkaba nyino mwani nayongeraho nagura ente ya miliyoni 1.8 ente je inaguzire hati yazire ino mwana nindebe zisente zinyambere munonga entejo nempereza manyuwa nteko mu rutoke nteka no misiri yanje yimpingire kandi hati ninkama mbona muna mate ninguza mate omukashishe ninguza ritishatu ritemwe negura shingi 10 denago mwazyo tugakoresa nka family tuganywa itwe n'abana bitu ente nempereza manyuwa njiteko mu rutoke hati nindebe bitoke bibeni bitera bibiri bice abo kubona manyuwa hati nindene hatere bitoke bahango kandi mpingise misiri na mnonga dodo nyamu dodo ngumaninguzo mukatare nimfune sente ezo kwerebereka yitu kandi nago mateni ganyamba mnonga kubone ntasiya yeka kushashuraho school fees kandi manyangu ombwiro bwe kundaze kwika myaka 2 nza kuba naboneremwe sente ezogarayo kandi nabonere n'amagoba ago kunyamba omufamily yanje.
For his love of vegetable growing, Murangira Richard of Rwakabengo Ward invested in cabbage gardening and is reaping big. He is happy with President Yoweri Museveni for initiating a program that is pro-poor, still under substance livelihood.
Batero muranga ngwe tuze kwenda empapara kwizuza forms twazayo twazizuza tumara kuzizuza twazigarizayo twazigarizeyo bayeza kuturegisteringa twatunga certificate kutwaherize kugitunga twaheza kutunga certificate twagigarizayo batandika kuyiza kuturambura abakakiko ka PDM kandi hamwe n'akakiko kabumuruka niho babintu batahira mwaho so ejo process ito twagumizamo tukwinga tutakatungire sente kandi nabwo bitwaye tusharura twiyamwa kasente kake so kutwaye turyaho bagira ngo aba group tutandike ko organizinga niho twabintu tutero bururu abantu 11 abo mugisha abantu bashatu bakwato papura cyakahire nanye nkarugamo nkwasara kapapura akukwate sente na madamu ugo ndijo umusha taruherizo so no twabintu tutandikira twakwasereze sente twazito mu kwingomu twaribo kwinga kwaye yongera tutwabanka ubutwaye turye nyuma twaye tukoresa nke mutwaro nkabere nko kutwabintu tutera bina tukagira tukeyuguza usanga umuntu naguza kugira ki twahindura umuntu uri kushanga nayuguza yonke mutwarabe onka kutwatungira miliyoni ejo buri umuntu ukwinga kwaye yongera twareba ibyo buhinge bitwaye nsharura byirira yiguru.
This parish revolving fund, administered by the government, aims to empower SACCOs in funding income-generating activities across the agricultural value chain.